previously on the agency.
You want to join forces?
What are you suggesting?
An incident response team.
And the FBI would do what? Pack your lunch?
So what's an artist doing in ops training?
Who are you?
A.B. Styles.
What's the AB stand for?
Absolute bastard. Sir, have you met Miss Poole before?
She used to work for me.
Were you sleeping with Callum when he got killed?
We weren't personally involved. Do you really think we'll have a chance with this?
Yes.
You're not going.
I'm backing you up.
Oh, yeah, you did a great job with the last guy.
How you like working for the CIA?
Funny, I thought I was working for the FBI. I'm not the kind of person that goes with the moment.
Not really a risk taker emotionally.
يوجد كثير من أهل الرؤية. بنايات الأنوار اللعب لا تدعهم يخفون الجذور الفاسدة. يضعون ثقتهم في النقود، ولكن إيماننا في الله سيرون منا أقوى. Here.
Sir, you have to come over here to check your bags. Did you take off your shoes?
Pardon?
Your shoes.
You know, somebody already searched me downstairs. Know what they found? Nothing. Wouldn't it be more efficient to target someone who hadn't already?
Thank you, sir.
Is it my face? Has my face changed? When I was in school, I would walk through Washington Square Park, and all the drug dealers would just shut up as I passed. Like, why bother? Have I lost that? Because looking innocent is one of the few advantages I have in picking up women.
Keeping your comic books and condoms as separate bags might help.
I hate flying.
Styles checked in. He and Lex are headed to New York. They didn't find anything in San Francisco.
And keep me posted if I'm not too busy eating canopies with the Secret Service.
You didn't have to have the conference here.
Home court advantage, Robert.
I just hope the roof doesn't leak.
That's why we rented a tent.
You gonna withdraw if you're away from that thing too long?
Yep. And you wouldn't like the drooling and the twitching.
You don't get out much, do you?
This is a gate change announcement. Flight number 343 for Sacramento.
Okay, we're ready to board.
From gate 38.
Actually, our flight's delayed. Held up in Hawaii. It would destroy the dramatic effect if they warned the passengers. This website shows every flight in North America. I like to know what I'm getting into.
More people die in traffic accidents, Lex.
Yes, but there's a difference between statistical safety and inherent safety.
What's the difference?
Inherent safety means when your car breaks down, you can stand by the side of the road, wait for the auto club to arrive. But when you're 30,000 feet in the air...
With only a thin metal shell between you and death.
Lex.
J. Lambert.
The entire reorganization of the intelligence community is built around sharing information. CIA, NSA, Homeland Security. We can't pretend we're all separate kingdoms.
So for appearances, we throw a big tea party and make the politicians happy.
I thought we'd go a little beyond appearances and actually cooperate.
Sir.
Carl, I understand you're the one to thank for the lavishly designed program books today.
Sir, we have news of a credible terrorist threat. A Jordanian-born cab driver in New York heard two of his fares talking. He called the FBI. They searched the men's hotel room and found information on 3 airlines, including security measures. and schematics for a 757.
Please, no more planes.
We are now boarding rows 15 to 30 and our first and business class passengers for EAA flight number 28 to New York.
Is that our suspect from New York?
It doesn't look like either of the men the cab driver described.
He may be a friend. We've got stills of everyone who's used the hotel elevator in the past 24 hours, and we need each of them run through our terrorist database.
The men already check out of the room?
No, but with the FBI all over it, they won't be back.
So, how was France? You were both in France last week, weren't you?
Yes.
Well, how was it?
Well, the operation was a success, you know that.
Everyone get along?
Well, who everyone?
You were working with that new man, Mr. Styles.
We got along just fine.
Sir, you need to stow that computer in an overhead bin.
I'll take care of it. You see, my friend needs to concentrate. He'll be getting the plane aloft through Will alone.
Thank you, sir.
Overhead bin. Got a date?
92% of all crashes happen 30 seconds after takeoff or 2 minutes before landing.
I'll bear that in mind as we hit the tarmac.
You might feel better if you remove yourself from the equation.
How do you mean?
I remind myself that whatever happens, I'm part of a bigger plan.
And that helps.
But you don't believe we have a higher purpose?
I believe we're in a universe of expanding entropy in which one day all the stars will just flicker out. But if I think about that too much, I'll never get out of bed.
Why don't you both just have a drink, huh?
Can't. Alcohol increases jet lag. Nice talking to you.
Concentrate.
Homeland Security only aims to coordinate things. We're not out to displace anybody.
Oh, our people will be happy to hear that.
Still holding a job for you, Carl. Anytime you want to jump ship.
The president specifically told me that he was concerned about this chatter on terrorist communication
The
networks.
NSA is throwing everything they have at it. Our analysts are working overtime.
Well, this is just the kind of joint effort the president was hoping for. I'll be delivering my report to him first thing in the morning.
Me too.
Well, we better grab General Heller before he goes back to Brussels. Excuse me.
Let me guess. He told you the president asked for his personal evaluation of the conference. The president really respects his opinion.
They take their milkshake with 2 straws.
Well, Mr. Orr is deputy chief of the White House Security Group.
He is an ass.
Yes, and he's our ass. Any word from OTS and the men in New York?
No, they're still trying to put a name to the face.
How about Farouk Saleh?
Hello, Avery.
Director Gage? Gentlemen? Has the CIA considered the possibility that this airline threat is Farouk Saleh's new project?
What does the FBI think?
I thought this conference was about information sharing.
It is. Ladies first.
Would you excuse us? Let's follow the breadcrumbs. First, your people lose Saleh in Kuala Lumpur in a bungled operation that would make Ace Ventura Pet Detective look like Sherlock Holmes.
Where'd you hear that?
Was it a secret? You conducted an internal review.
Internal review.
Next, for reasons known only to God and the CIA, your guys crawl through half the ships in San Francisco Bay looking for
I'm
him.
aware the FBI thinks he's entering through the port of New York.
If he isn't here already, there's every possibility he was one of the men the taxi driver reported. Admit it.
I've never denied any possibility.
Well, we just got the phone records from the hotel room. They made several calls to California last night. We've alerted the authorities at the major airports, LAX, San Francisco.
So Sally might be in San Francisco.
Or his people. So you are taking the airline threat seriously.
We don't discount information just because it comes from the FBI. Isn't that what this conference is about?
Have you heard from Mr. Stiles since you've been back from France, I mean?
Why would that matter?
Well, he seems like a charming young man, and I know how France can be. The wine, the cheese, a little Jerry Lewis in the night, la vie sur la plage.
Okay, will you stop?
I like Jerry Lewis. What is that?
It's an email from Lex from the plane.
He's been sending them all morning. What's this one? Commentary on the in-flight movie?
He says they've been hijacked.
You told him what? That we'd been hijacked. While I was in the bathroom? I checked with my flight program. I checked with my GPS. We're off course. Have you had pilot training I don't know about? I know what I know.
Can you find me another blanket if it's possible? Blanket? Yeah.
Miss?
Greta.
Greta. Is there any way that we might be, off course?
No, sir. Sometimes a flight will detour around bad weather or turbulence, but it rarely affects our schedule. Can I get you a drink? Headphones? The movie's over, but we've got Everybody Loves Raymond.
If there's been a hijacking, nobody's heard about it. Ground control says there's been no indication from the cockpit.
Hello?
Hello, Terry?
Stiles. What's going on up there?
Oh, nothing. We're all very relaxed. Aren't we, Lex?
Well, Lex emailed us.
I know. We're hoping to drug him for the rest of the flight.
Joshua wants to talk to you. He just got off the phone with the airline.
Good morning, Mr. Stiles. Would you please hold the phone so Lex can hear too? Okay. All right, go ahead. According to ground control, the pilot sent a message that he changed his flight plan due to turbulence.
That is disinformation. There's no turbulence anywhere near us. I get the latest updates from the Weather Service website.
Lex, look around, okay? The plane is full. Everybody's in their seats. Who's doing the hijacking?
Him. That guy, the kook who's part of the bigger plan.
Okay, who are we talking about here?
Lex made a friend, passenger 57.
Terry. He said his name was J.
Lambert, J. Lambert.
J. Lambert. Would you check it out for me, please?
Okay, we'll get back to you, Lex.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I gather you've been happily mingling with the enemy.
Doing our best. We're all on the same side, Robert.
Not today. This was posted on the internet 20 minutes ago. It will be on the front page of the Post in the morning.
Slipshod spies, how the CIA let a terrorist get away. They found a review of what happened in Kuala Lumpur.
Leaked, no doubt, by one of our good colleagues. Your party. Your name on the invitations. Have you offended anyone lately, Tom?
found anything to calm Lex down?
His relaxation tapes are about to come bust.
Terry,
I'm here.
then why aren't you talking?
I thought you were the kind of person who didn't like to use the phone. I mean, it only took hijacking to get you to call.
I was supposed to call you?
I know what call, don't. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Oh. I didn't realize,
Realize what?
well, that we were in that category.
And what category might that be? The treating people with consideration category?
The rules category.
Rules.
Yeah. You know, they call you by Thursday to take out Saturday rules.
We didn't have a date. What we had was a prison break / kidnapping, and you pretty much threw yourself at me afterward. I mean,
Threw myself at you? I was happy. I was sharing the joy.
and it was well received, but
But what?
I... Nothing. I'm sorry. We risked our lives together. We were brothers in arms.
Oh, now I'm your brother?
In arms.
In arms.
Help?
You know, would somebody take this, please?
Got it. A word of advice, Mr. Stiles.
$35 for a mixed floral arrangement.
And these problems never come up.
I've got something. Richard C. Lambert, member of a militia organization that advocates violent action against the government, suspected sympathy with Al Qaeda, and cousin to Jay Lambert, Lex's missing passenger.
Did I just hear what I thought I heard?
This is wrong, Avery. It's unfair.
In the way that incompetence made public
This
is always unfair.
memo was the result of an internal postmortem, the sort of thing a hospital does when a patient dies. It wasn't written for public view.
And if it was your fault the patient
The
died?
people who give these opinions have to believe that they'll stay internal. We need them to be honest or the system doesn't work.
I'm sure the Enron executives felt the same way. There always seems to be good reasons to keep problems to yourself.
Do you dislike me this much?
I don't dislike you at all.
Are you sure?
Tom, I've had 10 years of perspective. Every male senator in Washington has impressionable young women working in his office, and it's only a matter of time until they're dumped.
As I recall, you got the job with the FBI all on your own.
Because I saw the handwriting on the wall. It would have been a bad career move to wait till you asked some congressman to do you a favor and take me onto his staff. We all know what that's code for.
This is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. We didn't even do anything.
Believe me, I know. The one time I thought you were gonna kiss me, it turns out you were just leaning over to read the fire exit instructions on the office door.
You lost your first job in Washington because of me.
I'd been in town a year and a half. Disillusionment was right on schedule.
And you're needling me about this memo, the confidential memo, just a few hours ago.
I suggest you move on to the next suspect.
I suggest that you... Gage.
Sir, we may have a situation.
He's not gonna say okay. If you ask him one more time.
Excuse me. Sorry.
think she's airsick.
How does a man disappear on a plane? Cockpit's the only place left.
Excuse me? Can I help you?
Greta, I'm a federal agent. I need to talk to the captain.
Why?
It's important. I need to have a word.
No one's allowed in the cockpit. We
Then
can't
you
make an
talk to him. Call him on the intercom.
I need to know what this is about.
Just call him, please.
Captain, it's Greta. Captain?
Ground control says he stopped answering the radio, too. The plane's significantly off course now, over Ohio heading east. If it stays on its present course, it will pass directly over Washington.
Does anybody else know about this? I believe so.
Well,
I need to speak to you, Captain.
Kevlar reinforced.
It'll have a titanium bar inside. Terrorist proof.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? I've just spoken to the president. He is standing by to be taken to an undisclosed location if it is necessary. If the president should become unavailable, which I do not anticipate, the commanding general of Tyndall Air Force Base has the authority to shoot down any commercial airline.
I have people on that plane.
Director Gage, according to your own intelligence, there's been a noticeable spike in communications and money transfers among terrorist groups for the last several weeks.
We believe that a major terrorist organizer may be in this country, and there's been a specific threat against airlines.
Some literature that was found in a hotel room.
Left behind by 2 Arab men overheard making threats against the United States.
The worst thing we could do would be to overreact.
The plane is not communicating, it's off course, and it's headed
But
for
it's
Washington.
not here yet. We have people up there. Let them use this time to figure out what the hell is going on.
The president has authorized the launch of Air Force fighters to terminate the flight if it enters Washington airspace. Your people have 1 hour.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm looking at the door now. It's bolted. Fully reinforced.
Still no communication?
No. Lex thinks it can use a ventilation system to feed gas from a fire extinguisher into the cockpit.
Wait a minute. I'll put you on speaker.
The fire extinguishers contain halon. It sucks oxygen out of the air. If we pump it into the cockpit, whoever's taking control in there may pass out.
You want to make whoever's flying that plane unconscious?
Mr. Stiles, that is General Davies of the Defense Intelligence Agency.
If we time it right, we can blast the door using an expedient bomb made from an oxygen tank and take over the plane.
Do the passengers know what's going on?
No, sir. Unless one of them smuggled a blowtorch aboard, I don't see what good it would do.
And all the passengers are accounted for except this man Lambert?
Yes, sir. We're still trying to figure out how he got into the cockpit. We'll keep working at this end. But I understand what you have to do.
What do they have to do? Stiles?
I'll get you as much time as I can.
We'd appreciate that.
You understand they have to do what?
I'm gonna get an oxygen tank.
Stiles, what?
Sir, we have a change of scenario.
All right, if Mr. Lambert was in the lavatory joining the Mile High Club,
Who with? Somebody you just met at the drinks cart?
we could study his technique later. In any case, if he wasn't in the cockpit hijacking the plane,
There's a pilot and a co-pilot. Pilot Paul Ving, 47 years old. Been with the airlines 8 years. Former carrier pilot with the U.S. Navy. Wife teaches junior high school. Son is a freshman at the University of Nebraska. The worst thing that I can find about him is that he's talkative.
Okay, co-pilot Alan Lieber.
39 years old. Learned how to fly at a school in Oklahoma. Unmarried, and is obsessed with fishing and baseball statistics.
Which would explain why he's unmarried.
Member of a volunteer fire department, votes Republican.
You ever hear of Auburn Calloway? Flight engineer for Federal Express. Was about to be fired. Hitched a ride on a flight from Memphis to San Jose. Beat the crew bloody with a claw hammer and a spear gun. But they managed to knock him down and hold him while they landed the plane.
Here. Is that gonna work?
If I can isolate the air feed into the cockpit.
I can't believe it's one of them.
How about Su Wei Ming?
There's no way to stop him.
Pilot for an airline in Singapore. Disciplined for tampering with a cockpit voice recorder. Bought a life insurance policy.
Spear gun?
Didn't need one. He was the pilot. Just flew his plane into a river in Indonesia. Steep spiral dive from 35,000 feet. Killed 104 passengers and crew.
Greta, the pilot and co-pilot, did you notice anything odd about them today?
The pilot told me he was going to visit his son at college next weekend. Alan asked me to have dinner with him tonight. I don't understand how this could be happening.
Karen, did you talk to the flight crew this morning?
I didn't see the captain. I just said hi to Dennis.
But the co-pilot's name is Alan.
He was supposed to be. Dennis Karsten replaced him.
So the airport police tracked down the counter agent as she was driving home. She confirmed it. A second officer named Dennis Karsten showed up at the gate and said he needed a ride east. It's not that uncommon if there's an open third seat in the cockpit.
You're assuming you overpowered the pilot and co-pilot.
Or he drugged their coffee, or they're all in this together. That plane will reach Washington in 16 minutes.
Who the hell is he?
He's 41. He took up flying as a teenager. Air Force veteran. Married, no children.
Looks like he's not gonna have any either.
Lex. Hazley's working on it, okay? He's gonna find something. He always does.
Sure. Good.
I want to talk to him, please.
Look, Terry.
It's Joshua.
Oh, hey, Joshua.
Lex.
I'm not afraid. I'm calculating how much oxygen to let out of a 3,000 psi tank so we don't blow up the plane while we're blasting through a Kevlar door.
How thick?
Maybe an inch?
Interlaced or non-interlaced?
None. We're gonna spark the oxygen with a split power cord. I've seeded it with combustible.
Is the door reinforced?
Quiet. Quiet.
Hello?
Hello. Is this Emily Karsten?
Yes?
Wife of Dennis Karsten.
Who's this?
I'm calling from Washington, Mrs. Karsten. It's about your husband.
What about him? Is he all right?
We're not sure. We believe that he's at the controls of a flight from San Francisco to New York.
Oh, well, that's not possible.
Why?
Who is this?
I'm Frank Hancock, FAA. Your husband is Dennis Karsten. Social Security number 987654320, now at the controls of Flight 28 en route to Kennedy. Why isn't that possible, Mrs. Karsten?
Well, he's not allowed to be flying anymore. He's on medication for depression.
Prozac, Zoloft, lithium. The FAA grounds anyone taking any antidepressants or psychoactive medication.
And no one at the airline knew about this guy.
If you're going to be grounded for taking these things, I don't suppose you go around telling people.
His yearly physical was due next week. He knew that he was going to be discovered.
The plane is about to enter Washington airspace. The F-16s are in position.
He's not a terrorist. There's no indication. He's depressed and disturbed, and he has told his wife that he wants to die as a pilot.
So it's sheer coincidence that his suicide flight is taking him over the White House, the Capitol, the Pentagon.
The CIA? This conference has been in the papers. We might be considered a pretty attractive target.
Flying over Washington is the shortest route to the ocean. Now, if Karsten wants to kill himself without killing anyone on the ground, he's gonna fly out there until he runs out of fuel.
You're reading his mind.
I'm reading his record. I'm analyzing the situation.
We recommend to the president that the plane be allowed to fly over Washington to give our people on board more time to deal with the situation.
Karsten? Karsten? Karsten, talk to me. What else do we know about him?
Not very much.
Come on, Terry, I need details. I need buttons to push.
As soon as Hazley got the basics from the wife, he went upstairs. And I've been trying to reach her again. She's on her cell phone, and I don't know where.
Hazel went upstairs, huh?
To the director's conference room.
To tell them that they shouldn't shoot us down, or that they should?
Styles,
What?
I feel like I should say it.
Goodbye?
Something. You know, I don't know anything about you. We slept together, for God's sakes. I should know something. You know, I should know what the hell kind of car you like, or what your favorite color is, or...
Actually, I'm colorblind.
Yes, sir. That is our recommendation. That missiles be fired only if the plane drops below 20,000 feet. That otherwise it'd be allowed to continue on its course. Yes, sir. We are aware of the risk.
This is Air Force Fighter, flight EAA-28. Do you copy?
They're here.
Fox 1 flight, we have lag pursuit. EAA-28. Roger, Fox 1. Echo Alpha Alpha 28. Call altitude, please. Maintaining steady, 3.4 thousand. Reconfirm.
He's maintaining altitude.
Fox 1 flight.
He's cleared the city.
EAA-28 has cleared DC airspace. I repeat, EAA-28 has cleared DC airspace.
All right.
Echo Alpha Alpha 28 has cleared airspace.
Thank you, Jackson.
Fox 2 waiting for the
We're past Washington.
Some of the passengers are concerned we no longer seem to be heading toward New York.
Well, tell them air traffic delay. I don't know, weather diversion?
I did.
Styles? Lex?
Yeah.
I've got news, good and bad. The Air Force is not going to shoot you down, but we believe Karsten is going to commit suicide by flying you into the Atlantic.
Karsten, my name is Styles. I'm about 10 feet away from you here in the galley. Come on, my friend, I know you can hear me. Oh, I've slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. A lot of pilots know that poem, huh? It's like a flyer's hymn. My father taught it to me. He also taught me to fly Cessnas when I was 14, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. So I know how you feel.
I understand what this means to you. That doesn't have to be the end.
Yes, it does.
That's not good.
We need to learn more about this guy.
Mrs. Carston.
I've tried to reach her. She's not answering her cell phone.
Where is her cell phone?
The phone company in Omaha says it's either not turned on or it's out of state.
Adjacent states.
I'm looking.
Karsten?
Carson, you know what they say. This is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. You got more options than this. There are new medicines that can help you. Eventually, the airlines will realize that, but even if they don't, you can fly your own plane. Hell, I'll go with you. There's so much left for you to do. What are you doing? It's ready. I calibrated the force, brought it down to 1,800 PSI. I just need something strong to prop it. Wait, this is last ditch. Even if it doesn't blow the plane apart, it'll just take him a second to throw us into a dive. Not if he's unconscious. I'm feeding the gas from the fire extinguisher into the cockpit right now without telling me? You were reciting poetry to the man. I didn't want to distract you.
They picked up the signal on Mrs. Carson's phone. It's in Bermuda.
What the hell is she doing there?
Wait a minute, it's ringing again.
Hello?
Hello. I'm looking for Mrs. Carston. Mrs. Emily Carston.
Who's this?
Who's this?
Okay. It's off. You just let me know when you want it back on. Oh, you'll be the first to know.
Styles. Styles?
What?
We tried calling Mrs. Carston to get you some help. We found her in Bermuda in a hotel with her boyfriend. Carston may have a different motive for doing this. He's flying that plane toward Bermuda.
Does he know where his wife is staying?
We don't know. It's the Sunbird Resort. It's being evacuated as we speak.
You think he's planning to crash into the hotel?
What do you think?
Mr. Carston, I don't know if Bermuda means anything to you. I don't know if the Sunbird Resort means anything to you. But your wife's not there anymore. Nobody's there. Now, the only people at risk now are the people on this plane. And one of those people is me.
Me too.
Now, I know you're hurt. I know you're angry. But if this is all about a woman, women come and go.
Styles.
What?
The man's in pain.
I know that.
No, it doesn't sound like you do. He might love his wife.
So he's trying to kill her?
Tell him she wants to talk to him.
Oh, with or without her boyfriend?
Tell him she wants to talk and she's waiting to see him. That we're flying her to Washington. That she's upset about what's happening to him. That she's sorry. That she cares.
You know, I could just set off the bomb.
And that she loves him.
Mr. Carston, I just spoke to the ground. They're flying your wife to Washington. She wants to speak to you. She's very sorry about everything. She loves you very much. Anything else?
Yes. Somebody doesn't want to risk casualties on the ground in Bermuda. We're sending in the F-16s again.
Oh, great. Carston? Mr. Carston! Turn on the damn gas.
Gas is on.
It'll take a few minutes to fully saturate the cockpit.
I want to talk to her.
Stiles has control of the plane. FBI is going to debrief everyone, and then they'll be home. And Stiles said he called from the car.
He did?
No. She felt a small ping there for a minute, didn't she?
Gentlemen, I just heard from New York. 2 more Arabs were overheard talking about hijacking planes in front of another Arab American. Either the terrorists are getting very sloppy or they're
just playing with us.
Disinformation.
as a distraction. Farouk Saleh is in this country. He's planning something.
And he wants us to waste time watching airplanes while he focuses on the real target.
Whatever that may be.
I better get home, or my wife's gonna think I'm having too much fun at this job. Good night, Miss Paul.
Director?
Could you have gotten us down without help from Karsten? You learned to fly a Cessna when you were 14?
I made that up. At 14, I barely drove a car.
But I could have gotten us down.
Yeah, me too.
We might have made it. Remember that plane that managed to land with a hole in its roof?
Aloha Flight 243.
Had first class, coach, and patio seating. Of course, a few people were sucked into the engine.
I don't ever want to talk about this again.